Hello everyone, welcome back to the Fruit Farm. My name is Fritzies and today we're going to be doing another card review, and for today we're going to be going over the Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands. I have mine laid out here. One of the cards is going to be from the mystical manga, and the other one is going to be from the Crystal Visions deck. Essentially, what I would like to do with this particular card study is to do it very similar to the first one, where we want to go over the cards and what we're seeing within the pictures themselves, what things stand out to us, and then from there we can go ahead and read the book that I have. Maybe it's a book that had come with your first tarot deck, that it goes a little bit more in depth about what the card means. And then at the end we'll just kind of have a little pondering session for how do we want to interpret this card a little bit deeper than what we see in the text and from what we're seeing in the card picture, and then analyze it in a reversed fashion. So we'll get started with that. First thing that we're going to do is we're gonna look and analyze the different cards that we have here. So for example, in the Crystal Visions tarot deck, we can see that for the Ace of Wands, there is a big wand. The tip of it is very radiant, is illuminating with light. There is a dragon that is there. It's almost like a very youngling trying to come up and grow. We see a lot of flowers blooming around. So right now, from first impressions, I can see a blooming or a birthing of this dragon, or a growth of it, especially with everything that is around it. Everything suggests growth, everything suggests things moving forward, light illuminating and kind of giving that energy that is needed. From the mystical manga, we see a little bit of a different depiction. We see the element of fire being really radiant going around, and someone who is confidently trying to take up on it. We see a little bit more of a fire, a strong energy going from this, which to me is giving the idea or the impression that there is a lot of heat or a lot of momentum that is currently happening. It could be that if we are, we have to be careful on how we're using that momentum, because the fire kind of seems like it's getting a little bit out of control with the little kindles that we have here. So this could mean that, we want to stay objectively minded, but we also have to be aware of our surroundings to make sure we're not hurting those around. That's what I'm getting for first impressions, just from the card pictures that we have here. And I also have a booklet that we can go a little bit more in depth. This is the same booklet that I used for my last reading, where we went over into the card study. This is the Little Book of Tarot by Barbara Moore, and this has been really helpful. It just pretty much goes over all of the cards a little bit more in depth when they're upright. And in particularly, we're going to be going over this particular page that we have here. We have an Ace of Wands that we have right there. Somebody seizing a baton of swords. From that one is from the Universal Tarot deck. And we'll just read some of the text that is in here and just get a little bit more of an insight in terms of text of what the card actually means. And we'll start off, and it says, for the key words that we have passion, will, drive, inspiration, potency, energy, confidence, courage, and optimism. So a lot of the adjectives that we see from the keywords is stuff that I was personally able to get from just depicting the individual card text. The card pictures that we have here. So to me, it's telling me that we're pretty much on the right path of understanding truly what the card is supposed to mean a little bit more in depth. And the text itself says, the Ace of Wands is a fully loaded magic wand, or a divine thumbs up. While the opportunity may seem small, and it holds a lot of energy and possibility, it will set your enthusiasm, inspiration, and creativity on fire. If you're looking for a project that ignites your drive and passion, the Ace of Wands is exactly what you want. But move quickly. The aces represent a small window of opportunity. Based on the text itself of what we just read, is letting me know that this is an opportunity that we can seize, that we can take a hold of. It's a drive, fire, and passion that's going to allow us and propel us forward. But we want to make sure that we're seizing that opportunity quickly, Because it is in an ace, that window of opportunity may not stay open for very long. So it's an opportunity that we are encouraged to take up and to feel very passionate and driven about. In the tarot tip that we have here, it says card pairs. And the text says, as you do more readings, specifically if you keep track and review your readings, which is a good idea, why we should have a tarot journal as well, you will begin noticing that pairs of group of cards will start repeating. Pay attention to them and see if pairs or groups mean something. For example, some readers say that the Empress and the Ace of Wands represent pregnancy. If we are doing tarot readings where we're pairing up different cards, not just in terms of twos, but also in terms of threes, where a lot of readers that I know, when they do their card readings, they flip 3 cards at a time just to get a better picture or just have a clear understanding of what is happening. We can try to pair up the meaning of what that Ace of Wands means into what other cards are coming into play, so we have a better picture of maybe the kind of opportunity or the kind of passion that is happening around us that we can go ahead and start seizing. Now that we have all of this context and that we have all of this information, understanding what these 2 specific cards mean, the question now comes is, what more can we get out of this card per se? If you want to go ahead and start pairing up these cards with other cards and kind of get a little bit more of a more in-depth kind of a reading, you can go ahead and start practicing that, where let's say, for example, you want to go ahead and pair like an Ace of Wands and then maybe pair it up with a Judgment card and a Justice card. You can start getting a little bit of a practice of, like, with all these different cards combined, what could this message be in relation in regards to starting a new project or a general reading for a relationship. So don't be afraid to also explore a little bit beyond the card, and especially as we go through more cards, we'll get more understandings and more meanings of what they are. We can get a little bit more in depth of this. And then the next challenge that I have is, now that we know what these cards can represent to us when they are upright, we can start to ask ourselves, what do these cards mean if they are reversed? Based on the things that we had talked about and based on the things that we have explored in regards to the card, what does it mean to you if these cards come up reverse in a reading? What do these cards mean if they come up reverse in combination with other cards that are occurring in the reading? I appreciate the time that we took to explore a little bit more in depth of what the Ace of Wands is. Keep in mind that if there are certain things in your tarot reading that stick out to you, or certain patterns about what the card starts to signify to you as you're doing your readings, don't be afraid to take that personal meaning more to your own. Intuition is the #1 key when it comes to tarot reading. Even if there is something that may not necessarily align to what the initial card intent is from the textbook or from the initial impression that you get, as you come to do more readings with time, these cards are going to take a little bit more depth and a little bit more meaning, and you should take those into consideration as well. So don't be afraid to break outside the box if these cards start to take a little bit more meaning than their initial impression of what we're having here. And with that said, thank you so much for checking out this video. Don't be afraid to hit the subscribe button or to leave a comment in regards to what are the things that you're liking about these card reviews. And without further ado, make sure that you stay fresh.